Ebusia for Sunko TV suni yema obibia akwaba. Na ebusia ejebo eja enya abedru na ensem bia na amanfo ka se NDC for eba power anase omunya ba abamu a omo beyi teacher training allowances ana allowances ahodo ayewo oman mu efiri ho no ebusia eja enya abedru ama ende ukopiemu ewo education ministry anase ukopiemu ewo Haruna Idrisu ene na kachia ensema ode ba nyina ene se eye teacher training allowances e de ma teacher training for ahodo e wo schools ni nyina de busia e beyi e de efiri ho na e de ni nyina e de akɔhye student loan mu e de ama ono ma busia nya asembeketwa na eno na ye esu e de ma teacher training for a e wo omayi mu a omo eje omo ho a enje de busia okopie mu e wo social media platforms ahodo no so eso a teacher training for a super papa ya enya agro na eno na wo de eye the former president his excellency Kufu Addo omode ne bo ema ono ene the vice president Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia say omo ye sorry papa say ensem bia wo ka kire omo no omo anje omo ndi na afi no mo hu say NDC for eya trofo na omo nya nkrofo bia omo betumi di omo ni ato omo so ensem awodo teacher training for and the catchere His Excellency the former president Kufu Addo no enye asembeketwa a chese omunu omo ho a omo yahwia enye yie na eno ana Haruna Idrisu a ene ono ene ye education minister ono so ayiri mutatwe se teacher training for allowance de momo no ene ye be ye firi honum krakra enye asenketwa na bepese ye beko na yakotie ensem no se de esitie.
Isn't it too early to be seen to be walking back on that? Because I do remember that it was part of your campaign that you would not cancel it because you felt you faced so much backlash the first time you tried to cancel it. So, I mean, that's my shock and surprise this morning.
There's the nursing trainee allowances and the teacher trainee allowances. But he is saying that in the interim, it will stay. How long the interim is, we don't know.
No, but that's not what the people were sold. That's just to put that across. That's not what the people were sold. Number two, the nursing trainee and allowances is what I would be a little more interested in because there's a little more nuance. You know, the nurses do work while they are in school. The diploma nurses, they help around on the wards. So I think for that, their model should be looked at a little differently, even if we decide to have the conversation about cancelling it. But again, how much, I think we've looked at the budget that goes into this exercise before, and it's not such a huge figure that removing it will be able to fill the infrastructural gap. So if this is what motivates people to go to teacher training school and nursing training, why scrap it?
I also want to believe.
Can I join in the conversation?
You go ahead.
Yeah.
It means that while you're in school, you're getting some small monies
on
a regular basis.
Sure.
Cancellation means whatever repurposing is going on. Cancellation simply means that you will not be getting those small monies on a regular. So you cannot say that that does not mean they're not cancelling it.
Right.
And it's not everybody who will go for the loan, is it?
Exactly. So we have people. I was in the teacher training college. I never took any of the teacher, what we call it, when I came to the university, I never took any student loan. The reason was that I was on study leave, right? Okay. So while I was working as a teacher, I applied to go to the university. I was being paid whilst I was studying. So there was no need for me to go for the student loan. So you have students who will not be willing to even access the funds. Right. But make that funds available so that anyone that is interested in accessing it will just go and have it. But we are not saying that we are.
Here's a quick thought that just came to mind. While I have some disagreements, I also see that, is it like the discussion we've been having about free SHS, that don't make it free for all, everybody, because some people may not necessarily need it, but others will critically need it. In streamlining it, that is where the devil is. I always say the devil is in the detail. And I also have a problem with how we are always tweaking different aspects of our education. Pre-Gaggersberg, we had a system of education that lasted for at least over a decade. And then we started touching it. And ever since we've started touching our education, there are so many problems. And the whole flip-flop, even when it comes to SHS 3 years, 4 years, and this and that, and I mean, whether we were doing O levels, A levels, it was clear. You know that you do 5 years of ordinary level, you do your advanced level, lower 6, upper 6, and you move. But now, but just a final bit there. When you talk of these things and these allowances, is it not a rational decision? Because you can look at subsidies. We always like subsidizing, but subsidizing has a cost. If you look at why we've ended up at the IMF that many times, sometimes it has to do with a lot of, we are subsidizing, and then it becomes an albatross around our necks, which is why under Rawlings, at the point we had to decide we are not subsidizing electricity.
The Nigerians dropped the fuel subsidy as well.
In fact, we still have the zero subsidy policy, right? Yeah. Under the IMF program, we cannot subsidize anything as we speak.
It looks like West Africa is moving away from the subsidies. But I mean, my last thoughts on this is, I mean, if you promise, you better keep to it.
No, but yes, so I pulled up what he said because I was asking myself, why did I come here? So he said, we will keep the status quo for now because under the student loan scheme, nurses do not qualify. Therefore, and I'm quoting John Mahama during the campaign time, therefore, we need to make some amendments before we can transition them to student loans. Yeah. So we will maintain the current system until we make the necessary changes to move everyone to a student loan system. And we are calling it the enhanced student loan because we need to increase the amounts to make it meaningful for students. And once a student gets a job, we must, have mechanisms to start deducting. So yes, He did say that they will maintain the status quo for now, just like Ben read, and then until there's such a time that they, put the systems in place.
So I think that the people that were on the grounds campaigning, there was probably a mix-up there. But again, the main issue is that when these things happen, enrollment usually drops because a lot of people are motivated to go the teacher route or the nursing route because they are motivated by these allowances.
Is that the way it should go?
No, but I mean,
to go because you genuinely have interest in caring for people.
Yeah, but we are looking at the real facts on the ground.
Some people
we're looking at the real facts on the ground.
A
lot of people finish secondary school, and because the finances of the family are not great, they opt to go into these models because at least you get some 300 pocket money. So it does drive a lot of the enrollment into these sectors. So if you take it away and then you replace it with a student loan, then are you going to ask them for a guarantor? Is it going to be a no guarantor system? Because the odds are the person who is going to these training institutions motivated by the allowances would not be able to provide a guarantor that is suitable. So those were the issues with cancelling these things. So I hope it's looked at before it can be implemented because it will affect the enrollment.
All right. Let me wrap with these stories. There will be
issue a buyer na MP before the campaign and they say on the area John Mahama ka say teacher and nursing training allowance 2061
sure. Sure.
MMP before ka so omu de beba and no be campaign and omu de buy.
Yeah.
But after several years no and you ma bebre aba ho. Na yewra Haruna Idrusu nso aba be ka say sa teacher training allowance no. Omu be year free ho. Na omu de better loan facility aba. Na ekoba sa no unim say multimedia insure FM.
Sure.
Yakeka nyoma bibia a lot of research and your head of research Eugene Osetutu
sure
aka wanse ma say on the obenya
kientwem
sa teacher entry hwan allowance yentwem
sure
ne ababa beto so and as usual me say MP before ni bi dey say e kind na Joma ha me twa nkontompo but training allowance no so that teacher nursing no